This is C.T.V. News Channel.
Right now on C.T.V. News Channel, troubling new economic numbers, a huge jobless jump, and a record price tag on our ballooning deficit. Mikhail Jean's Arctic adventure, how a small gesture was a big deal for Canada's Inuit. And ready for the runway, Canada's next top model is set for takeoff. This is C.T.V. News Tonight. Hello, I'm Marcia McMillan. Canada's deficit has ballooned to an all-time high of $50 billion. Finance Minister Jim Flaherty made the grim announcement today in Ottawa, revealing that this year's shortfall will be at least $16 billion more than he forecast in January. And with employment insurance claims surging, expect the amount of red ink to keep on rising. CTV's Robert Fife has more.
Rising unemployment, plummeting tax revenue, and auto bailouts are hitting the federal treasury and hard.
We will run a substantial short-term deficit this year, which I would estimate at more than $50 billion.
And it's likely to be much more than $50 billion.
Autos is substantial. That's not completed yet. The General Motors negotiations are not finished, but the figure will be substantial.
That's billions more than the $34 billion that Flaherty projected in his January budget.
That you put money into a deficit to make sure you're helping the unemployed people in this country.
And the number of people collecting employment insurance is soaring.
Since October, the number of Canadians depending on employment insurance has grown by 36%.
Just over 681,000 Canadians are collecting employment insurance. The numbers are particularly high out west. Since October, the number of beneficiaries has surged by 131% in Alberta and 80.5% in British Columbia. And many more jobless Canadians are falling through the cracks.
They don't qualify because of insufficient hours. We estimate it's about 50,000 Canadians that could qualify. That don't.
What's going to be particularly unfair is that these people, many of them, are going to be exhausting their benefits quite soon, and then will have to go on welfare or live on their savings, have no support at all.
So the opposition parties are pressing the government to make it easier for people to collect employment insurance.
Why isn't the government fixing EI to help these Canadians in their hour of need?
The finance minister says the government has already extended employment insurance benefits by an additional 5 weeks and pumped mega dollars into job retraining. Robert Fife, C.T.V. News, Ottawa.
At the Rotman School of Business, he joins me tonight from Toronto. Hi there, good to see you again. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Marcia.
So let's talk about some of these trends. What are you seeing across the regions?
Well, yeah, it's quite a bit different across the region. So if we look at it provincially, you're seeing in Alberta, for example, the increase in people on EI increasing 131% over a 6-month period, 80% in BC. Ontario, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan pretty much near the average at 30 to 40%, Quebec at 25%, and then the Atlantic provinces at about 10%. So there's a real disparity right across the country, province by province.
And which industries are being hit the hardest?
Well, really, right across the country, construction, trade, manufacturing. So clearly we're seeing that. And if you dig a bit deeper into the numbers, you see some interesting stats on services being hit as well, so professional services, technical services, scientific services, educational services. So you're seeing people maybe a little more reluctant to buy from outside their firm, maybe doing a little bit more inside their own company, or just maybe holding off on some of those purchases.
And what about men and women? Are they losing their jobs at the same rate? Is there any disparity there?
Yeah, there is. So males are losing the jobs more quickly. So the increase for those on EI, men 55%, women only 36%, so more on the male side. And then when we look at the age breakdown, the age category that has seen the biggest impact is those under 25 years old, with a 56% increase in those on EI.
So these numbers are always slightly behind because
Yes.
we're talking about March. We've got March data in front of us. Is there a possibility that things have improved slightly since then?
Yeah, I think we're seeing some evidence of improvement. So I'll give you a couple of points there. So towards the March timeframe, the number of new claimants coming in actually decreased by a couple of percent. So there's an indicator there. We saw the jobs report in April. There was over 30,000 jobs created. Now, mind you, most of those were on the self-employment side. And then just another indicator of things to come, I think, if you see the biggest hit provinces, BC and Alberta, being hit so hard primarily because of the price of oil, which went from 147 down to 47 or in the 40 area. That's now back up to $60 a barrel, so that could be a bit of a positive thing for BC and Alberta.
So it's not all gloomy across the country, is what you're telling us?
No, there might be some light at the end of the tunnel, although there still is a lot of talk that we're going to see some long and protracted economic slowdown that we really have to work our way through.
Tom Vassos, thanks for being with us tonight. Do appreciate it.
Thanks, Marcia.
Good night now.